This is the tale of the most expensive train set that ever existed. I had a client who I'll refer to as Carolyn. Nothing about her divorce was easy or simple because she had a case of the nose. It sounded like this. Your husband wants Monday for a dinner visit. No, I will offer Tuesday because I know he has to work late on Tuesdays and it will be a problem for him to pick our son up on time. Or it sounded like this. Your husband wants to pay support bi-weekly because that's how he's paid. No, I want to be paid weekly because it's easier for me. Really, anything he suggested was an automatic no. Now, Carolyn's husband had a collectible train set. His grandfather started the collection for him when he was a child, and he added to it over the years. During the marriage, the train set sat in the basement, and every year he would add a piece or two to it. He spent a couple $100 every time he added something. It was his hobby. Carolyn and her husband had to sell their house because of the divorce, and therefore they had to divide up all of their furniture and household items. It was not easy, and her no habit was back in action. She called me, her attorney, a few times to get involved. Some letters were exchanged between lawyers. Finally, lists were exchanged, and we started to make some progress. That is until we got to the basement where the train set lived. Her husband just assumed that would not be part of what he was dividing because it was his, much like Carolyn's makeup and clothing and handbag collection were hers. But Carolyn didn't agree. She estimated that the train set could be worth almost $4,000. And her husband had been spending their money adding to it over the years, and therefore, she argued, it was marital property. She wanted compensation for it, or she would take half of the set. She had no use for a train set, but maybe she would sell it or donate it. It didn't really matter. Her husband wanted it, so she did too. Carolyn's husband refused to compensate his wife for something he's had since he was a child. They both dug their heels in and called their lawyers, who spent more time trying to assist in the division of all their stuff. And when we couldn't help, they were sent to binding arbitration. So in addition to what they already paid their lawyers to fight over possessions, they each paid a third professional $1,000. They took time off of work and went to someone who helped them divide their personal property. In the end, her husband got his train set. Carolyn got the hand mixer and the laptop. But at the end of arbitration, neither were happy because both claimed the other ended up with things that were worth more. So here's the point. Your stuff isn't worth what you think. And for what you will spend on professionals to help you divide up your personal property, you could go buy brand new stuff. Your couch with dog fur and goldfish crackers under the cushions has little value. Your 10-year-old dining room set and hutch might be worth only a small fraction of what you paid for it. Compromise is defined as coming to an agreement by mutual concession. That means both sides need to give and take a little. When one person gets stuck in their position, compromise is impossible, and the consequence of that is litigation. That means a judge will decide for you. Most likely, the judge will come up with some version of what each of you wants. Rarely does it mean someone's requests are entirely met. Usually it means both of you are even more unhappy leaving court than when you walked in. And if the dispute is over property, in other words, things or possessions, the judge is even less likely to get involved. Instead, the disputing couple is sent to a third person for some form of mediation or arbitration to decide how property will be divided. This is paid for by the couple. I'm going to share with you a very simple and easy way to divide personal property. And let me tell you a little secret. If you have to pay someone $1,000 or more to divide your things, their methodology to doing so isn't much different than what I'm about to show you. It is simple work for them and an easy way to make some money. So don't let them make money off of you. Let's get started on the property project. First, both of you should make a list of any items that are off limits. Now, I don't mean something that was bought during the marriage and is marital property. I'm talking about an heirloom or something passed down by a relative. The train set would fit here because it was a childhood collection. This list should not have more than 5 items. Keep it short and resist the urge to throw the grill on here just because it's your husband's most prized possession. If in doubt, apply the common sense test that we learned in Pillar 1. Second, buy some stickers like you would use at a tag sale, something like this. Each of you takes half. Write your initials on each sticker. You're going to need a lot of them, so make sure you have plenty. Probably a few hundred each, so probably a few packages like this. You don't want to run out halfway through this exercise. Next, pick a room to start in. So let's say you selected the family room. Now flip a coin. Whoever wins this flip will start first in this room and second in the next. The winner of the coin toss will select the first item he or she wants and put their sticker on it. Then the other person goes and picks one item and puts their sticker on it. Stay in this room. You're not allowed to venture into the next room until this room is 100% complete. Go back and forth using this method of tagging the items you want until all of the items from that room are divided. If neither of you want it, decide if you want to sell it, give it away, or throw it away. It's up to you if you want to handle just furniture this way or include every last knick-knack and coaster. Decide that before you start. When that room is complete, move to the next room, and the person who lost the toss in the last room gets first pick in this room. Go through the entire house utilizing this technique. The basement, garage, and shed should all be considered rooms for purposes of this drill. Once you have gone through the entire house, go back and document all of the items in a notebook so it's clear who is taking what and you don't have a case of the missing stickers later on. This method is entirely fair because you're alternating who has the first choice. In one room, you might not get the end table you wanted, but in the next room, you'll get the kitchen table you really love. You'll win some and you will lose some. This exercise is not just a practical system of dividing your things, it's an exercise in compromise. By going through your house this way, you have come to an agreement by mutual concession. So let's circle back to that off-limits list now. Once you have gone through your entire house using the method I shared, go through your off-limit list again. Can you each agree to keep the few items on this list? Is there emotional value to these items? Now that you have gone through the task of dividing everything else in your house, are you more willing to compromise on these last few things? If your answer is no, and that you're both stuck arguing over these things, now you can take this very small list and go to your lawyer or maybe even ask a judge to decide. It's much more cost-effective and manageable to deal with a couple of items rather than an entire house of things. So don't let the hang-up on the off-limits list undo the entire household of contents that you already divided. If most people work together and complete the property project the way I described, their position on that off-limits list softens a little. You just spent the past couple of hours going through your entire house. You have spent 2 or 3 hours compromising. Maybe you both can compromise on just a few more things. There are a few things that should be treated differently though. Family photos and videos should be copied so each of you has a complete set. The cost of doing this should be shared. Your children's toys and clothing should be divided equally so both of you can set up a room for your children that is filled with their things. Christmas ornaments tend to be a source of emotionally charged energy. Divide these up much like you would everything else in your house. Take turns picking so you each have a collection to bring with you. Now imagine if Carolyn and her husband had gone through their house this way. They would have saved thousands of dollars, but instead she paid a far greater price. She paid the price of giving up her peace. Instead, the negative energy she put into fighting over stuff was much more costly than the price of a new hand mixer. And quite frankly, did she really want the train set? No. She wanted to make her husband suffer. And ultimately, that attitude cost her thousands of dollars that could have been spent otherwise. So let's recap. Your things are not worth what you think. Go through your entire house using the property project. Then go back while you're still in the compromising spirit and try to compromise on your off-limits list. You will save thousands of dollars, but more importantly, you will save yourself the aggravation. Your peace is far more valuable than any couch covered in dog fur. Remember, you've got this.